Welcome to yet another episode of my Hidden and Dangerous Deluxe walkthrough. Let's face the most difficult mission as of yet. Today we will be facing the 5th mission of the 3rd operation, the most difficult mission as of yet. Let's see what it is about.
Okay, boys, we have to get to the turnoff leading to Peenemünde. Otherwise, we're damned.
And you might be wondering, why is this the most difficult mission as of yet? Well, it is due to the rules that I set myself, which are no soldiers falling in battle and no saving. So everything has to be recorded in one single segment, from start to finish. No interruptions with loading when someone dies or whatever. Now, with these rules, you'll be facing a very tough challenge because there are multiple, I'd say, RNG moments in this mission specifically, which can completely ruin a certain run. Let me explain this further. You'll be facing multiple instances where there are either plenty of enemies with Panzerfausts or multiple tanks shooting at you. Due to the rules that I said, if a tank hits, it's game over. If one of my soldiers falls, it's game over. Hence why I took the time to switch my teams around, which is why you now see 3 soldiers with Robin as my newest addition. I cannot afford to unnecessarily lose a soldier, because the whole tough thing is it's really RNG dependent, this mission specifically. The first problem we will be facing is actually right around this corner. It's the beach section. As you can see, we're already getting shot at with Panzerfausts and guns, and it's getting even worse the further we go to that beach. Because at the end of the beach you will be facing at least 1 tank, possibly even 2, and there are a plethora of soldiers, especially towards the end where 3 will summon with a Panzerfaust, and there is not much room to navigate, so you really have to be on top of your, strategic game to avoid all those soldiers and the tanks. And the first step to avoid a big part of the trouble is to avoid the second tank, which is why I use this route, because I have noticed that if I stay close to the water, the second tank, which appears right next to this building, the white building, it will not spawn, so you will be only facing 1 tank, which clearly makes this section a little bit easier, because if that tank spawns, you cannot take this route whatsoever, because there's a 99.9% chance that the tank will hit you. However, it does not mean that the tank is not there at all, because the tank, as you can see in this upcoming bit, is right after the second tank here. The route that I follow now will ensure, most of the time, that the Panzerfaust shot by the soldiers will hit the tanks, and that will blow up the active tank. However, the destruction of that tank does not mean we are finished with this section of the map yet. We have crossed the invisible checkpoint line, to say it for a lack of better words, where we have cleared this side of the map. But the first tank is still going strong. That may cause problems later on in this mission, because towards the end of the mission you'll be driving on the other side of the river. If this tank is not destroyed, it will shoot at you, and it will be able to hit you. So it's best that we destroy this tank right away, where we do have a much better chance to actually hit it. This is the reason why I picked Smedley as my bazooka shooting soldier, because he does have an accurate shot, should I aim properly, and he destroyed the tank, meaning it will be causing us way less trouble later on. And that is like the only reason why I picked Robin as my second soldier, just to do this trick. For the rest of this mission I won't need him anymore. We will be doing it with the machine gun and hopefully avoiding the tanks. Now that the tank is destroyed and Thomas cleared the incoming soldiers, we have now completely finished the first section of the map with success. After the tough climb on the hill, we'll be directing ourselves towards the second part of this mission, starting off with this battle between our vehicle and the motorcycle of the opponents. This part is also a little bit tricky, because we will soon be facing a two-way battle. There are two soldiers near our house, soon to be on our right side, and three soldiers walking to our left, two having a Panzerfaust in that group and one having a Panzerfaust for the right sided group. So I have to be careful with my aim here to eliminate them as quickly as possible without receiving much damage or being even destroyed. Luckily the aim was proper this time and I cleared them without too much trouble, just a little bit of damage to Thomas, but that can happen. Most important part is we are still going strong. The only thing that we now have to avoid are these soldiers over here. Luckily they were not too big of a challenge and they were easily cleared. The third part of the map, which I like to call it, has arrived right now. We will be facing 4 soldiers, I believe, 2 of them having a Panzerfaust. After we have cleared them, it is time to avoid 2 tanks which are on a bridge and a few soldiers, I don't know exactly how many. But before that I'm going to switch my soldiers out and bring Jury behind the machine gun, just to ensure that I have a healthy soldier being able to sponge up any hits that might be coming our way, in the hope that should there be any damage done, that it will not be enough to immediately kill him. And at this point I realized I screwed up. I took the turn a little bit too sharp and a bit too quickly, which means that the vehicle will automatically come to a halt. I now have to go with a painfully slow route back in the hope that I can at least get the car unstuck, which, well, luckily I did. But that means that I will have to retry my entrance to this part of the map, because you do need some kind of, well, speed in order to avoid the tanks and the Panzerfaust at the end of this hill. Now that I had built up some speed again, it is time to try again. Luckily for me, I did not hit the mountain, but passed through the way that I wanted to go. It is now a matter of avoiding the Panzerfaust and tanks, which will be going quite wild at this point. The difficult part of this situation is that you don't really have much room to avoid the tanks. If the tank hits the mountain, you're screwed. If the tank hits your vehicle, you're screwed. Or if the tank hits you close enough, you're screwed regardless. So this is really a tricky point. Another tricky part is this part over here. You can see that I switched to Jiri myself in the hope of killing the soldier. Unfortunately, I failed. Jiri does not have the best of reactions, nor does he have the best of shooting. So the chances of him shooting that soldier himself, AI control it is, are not too high. And well, considering that this guy has a Panzerfaust, it is important that he either misses or you kill him on time. I did not kill him, luckily he missed his shot, so it did not really matter, but it can still save you some hassle, because if that guy hits you with that Panzerfaust, you're done, and we have already come a far way. It will be a shame to restart this mission if you follow my exact rules. Luckily, I did not have to worry about that this time. What I am doing now is to switch my soldiers again, with Thomas picking up the machine gun position once again, because he is the soldier with the most amount of health. We have now arrived at the fourth and final part of this map. This is the road that I was talking about in the first part, and you can see the destroyed tank, or well, you did see the destroyed tank at the left side of the map. If you did not destroy the tank, it will now have the possibility to shoot you once again, and well, you do not want that to happen. And if you had a clear sight as we had in the first part, it was way easier to destroy it then, so that it will leave you alone. Because this road, well, it is straightforward and you can zigzag around, but the tank can still do major damage to you. One of the last challenges remaining on this map is this guy over here. He does carry a Panzerfaust as well, but he should not be too difficult to clear. The reason why I am now going to off-road a bit is because I do remember from the past that there was an anti-tank mine somewhere. If you drive over it, it's game over. But I don't recall exactly where it lies, if it lies here somewhere after all. So I'm not taking any risk whatsoever. Another thing that I will be doing is speed up this footage over here, because I took the wrong turn and I will have to compensate for that again. And that, well, takes a while considering the hill which you have to climb on. And, well, the vehicle movement speed is absolutely horrendous during such situations. So I will be saving you and myself the pain of showing the full footage on the normal speed. Back on the road again towards the correct direction. This is the last part of combat which you will be facing in this map. It should not be too difficult to overcome as well. I mean, that friendly AI do its job on the machine gun, you should be perfectly fine. After eliminating these guys, you will be having no more combat whatsoever, and we have come towards our destination. And that was it, the most difficult mission as of yet. It took me hours to do this run, but I hope that you learned something, and most importantly, I hope that you enjoyed yourself. I will see you next time. Thank you once again for watching.